Why do we say valet? Should I actually Google it right now?
Yeah. Actually, do we need to?
Well, I want to know now.
Okay.
Valet. Well, I could have just searched valet meaning. Valet meaning. Valet
In death.
death meaning. Farewell. That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
That is actually really sad.
That is sad.
I guess I suppose we open the episode today with like a trigger warning as we discuss, mental illness
Yeah.
and the likes.
Through the passing of Paul Green last week. So just a bit of a reminder to everyone, like, it's okay to go out and seek help and, talk to someone if you're going through a troubling patch or a troubling time. As the saying goes, like, it's not weak to speak.
Absolutely. Paul Green, obviously, still a very relevant person in the rugby league community, and obviously someone who had a positive impact on a lot of people. He had a very successful career, both player and coach. And just to hear that he passed last week at only 49 was so sad and such a shock, I think, to everyone. And every time these things come up, it serves as a bit of a reminder, like that, as you said, it's not weak to speak.
No.
So, I don't know. I suppose today, at least me and Xander would, just like to present that reminder to everyone again. And, I truly hope that, none of my close friends or anyone in my close circle is suffering in silence. And if they are, I implore you to reach out and,
100%.
To speak to someone, whether it's me and Xander or
anyone
someone closer
close
to you, girlfriend, boyfriend, sister.
Whoever.
Speak out,
That's all I think.
Like, you don't know how much it can help until you do, but it's very sad.
Absolutely.
Valet Paul Green.
That's right.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Marshall gets away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
All right, what's up, nerds? Welcome back to the Barflies podcast, episode 48 today. I'm joined always by my good friend, comrade, Alexander Russell, on a fine, well, not that fine, semi-overcast Monday afternoon.
Just because it was like that, mate, I had a wonderful morning this morning. For me and Cody, it is our Saturday, Sunday. It is a pairing of days off for the two of us. And, I got after it this morning.
Yeah?
I fucking got after it. Got up early. Had to do like a photo thing for work because I was farewelling like the ex-owners. So they got heaps of staff to do like a big photo on Shirley Beach.
Oh, nice. What time was that?
That was at 7:30. Afterwards, up early, I'll go for a run. I'll go for a swim. Now I'm here doing the podcast, and then I'm going to go home, hopefully do some uni work. That's the plan.
Nice.
That's a successful day. That's a W of a day.
That's
if you
a
ask
W.
me.
Yeah. How good is a morning run into a morning swim? Like, seriously, if you want to talk natural serotonin.
Oh, mate. You don't need any dance enhancers when you can go and do that, mate. That's the good stuff. That is the good stuff.
It's so fucking
And,
good.
at times the sun peeking out this morning and post-swim, when you're just like that feeling of going from cold to all like warmed up.
Yeah.
Like the lizard I am. I was loving every second of it.
It's all I've been craving going for like a winter swim the last couple of days actually, so maybe I'll go tomorrow. Got another day
Go
off.
tomorrow, mate. It was fantastic.
Shelley Beach, as cringy as this sounds, is probably the closest sort of thing you can get to like Europe in Sydney.
Yeah, you're not actually the first person I've heard say that. It's
Yeah.
more maybe not Shelley Beach, but it's more the Bower part.
Yeah.
I think is
Yeah,
what
yeah.
people always say. And I think just because it's so like
It's like crystal clear.
blue water,
Yeah.
almost all year round.
Yeah.
Because there's no there's not really much. There's no real swell there or
Yeah.
anything. But I didn't swim though. I swam in the pool at Coleroy.
Oh, okay.
Because
Sorry, you
but
know,
like also there,
for sure.
great spot.
Great spot.
Great spot.
You know, that was sort of the only thing that kept us sane during lockdown.
Yeah.
Was like going to the beach.
Ocean swims.
Must be nice. You live on the northern beaches.
Yeah.
Sorry to all my friends out
It is nice.
west,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean.
No. It was
Yeah,
it was a
we
good-
had it tough.
yeah, fuck, we had it tough. Getting coffees and going to the beach like every day. Dude, I hate that. Getting paid by the government to do fuck all. Oh, stop it. Oh, don't. Oh, don't make me. Oh, don't do it. Speaking of getting paid by the government, it's tax time. Tax return season, baby.
Oh, have you done yours?
I've done mine. I did it for last year as well.
Yeah.
I forgot.
So you got 2 years of tax.
Yeah, sir. I think when you leave at a certain time, it like deducts off it.
Right.
I think
So
someone
you
just said
lost
that to
money.
me. That's all 100% speculation. I lost money on one, but it's like
Do you want to tell us how much you got, or you don't want to say that?
I'll keep that privy. Thank you very much.
Okay, you can tell me after.
I'll tell you after. It's a lot, by the way. But yeah, what a season, what a time. The tax return. I know people. You know, there's only really two tactics with the tax return. The first one being save your money, and you borrow it away. You know, that just goes straight into the savings account, or you know maybe you're saving up for a holiday, it goes into that. The other option is just to steam through it. Is to burn through that puppy as soon as you can, which I know people who have already done such things. Just tap that card like it is nothing else.
Like it's going out of fashion.
Just bing, 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 go for it.
No regrets.
No regrets. You know, and you know what? You're gonna have a pretty good time until it goes. So why not, I say? You only live once. But you also lose out on, you know, free money, essentially. Well, not free. You already worked for it, but you know.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm gonna add avo to my eggs Benny today. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I'm getting the $6 sides.
Yeah, exactly right.
Exactly.
I'll have a large coffee. Why not?
I'll go.
It's tax time.
Okay, it's tax time, baby. Treat yourself.
I still haven't done mine. I don't know. I'm really bad sometimes at like just general life admin. It's something that I like to put off.
You
if
know
I don't
what?
Have to do it.
The thought of life admin is the hardest part about doing the admin. Getting over. Oh, I gotta do my tax return. Like, oh, that's gonna take ages. And you literally, I was like that, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna give myself a night. Boom. Tonight's the night. Tax return time.
Yeah.
I did it in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I did both in a minute, and I was done. And I was like, huh. And I G'd myself up to do this bit of life admin, only for it to take a minuscule of time.
And will you take anything out of that experience? Absolutely not.
Probably not. I'll do the same thing next year.
Well, I do that about everything, and that's why I'm laughing so much at it, because it's so relevant for me. It's like I will put off the most minute of tasks for weeks.
Yeah.
Things like taking the bin out in my room. You know what I mean? I'll just let it get too full. Very small task, bringing it downstairs.
It's not hard.
It's a big task. Yesterday I did it, and I was like, I feel so much better now. I don't know why I didn't just do that a week ago when I needed to.
I know. It's just craziness. Like that kind of stuff. But to be fair though, sometimes that stuff builds up and you're like, all right, today's the day. And you write a list.
Yeah.
And then you do it all and you're like, I'm a fucking king. Man.
Yeah.
I can do it all.
Yeah, exactly. You feel so good when you do it as well.
You know, that's what real adulting is. Obviously, by this conversation, you can tell we're not real adults yet.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. We'll get there one day. But until that point, yeah.
Well, in saying that, speaking of life admin, and, you know, maybe I will, you know, touch base with an old segment of ours that you guys might remember, Love and Hate.
Oh, here we go.
Because I had a plumber come round this morning and fix the water pressure.
Oh, here we go.
You know?
This is game changing for Cody's house. Because you tell.
Well, no, it's funny from your perspective.
Okay.
Because it's your singular qualm with the house.
Okay, I don't mind about the decor of the house. I like Cody's house. Right?
And I'd argue that it's gotten to a point now where there's not much to complain about.
No,
Like, we've got the essentials.
It's got plenty of character, this
Yeah.
house, you know, there's a lot to like. However, one qualm, and it is I find it very frustrating, is is the poor water pressure that comes out of the tap.
Yeah.
It takes about 30 minutes to fill up a cup of water.
It's
And there's no hot water.
there's no hot water either.
No, it is just like, it just, it shouldn't live like that.
If you come down to fill up your drink bottle in like the middle of the night, you need to pencil in like a 10-minute block.
You could probably actually get your life admin done while the water bottle is filling up, to be fair.
You could like go put your water bottle under the tap, turn it on, duck back upstairs,
You could do your car rego, insurance, tax return. You could do it all. You could do it all.
Maybe even run up and grab a couple of groceries while it's filling up.
Go up to Woolies.
See how I'm feeling.
Yeah. And it will probably just be finished when you get back.
Well, you'd probably get back in time to stop it overflowing for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Alas, the modern man's Jesus,
Yeah.
the plumber,
Yeah.
has come by.
He does work miracles.
It took him, I want to say, a minute and a half to fix.
Did you watch him fix it?
Not really. I watched him kind of he walked in, unscrewed the tap and went, "No hot water?" And I went, "Nah." And then he unscrewed it, so there was no filter or anything. Water's coming out at a normal pressure. He holds his hand there for like 10 seconds. He's like, "Yep, there's the hot water." And then I think he changed the filter, twisted it back on, and
Boom, Bob's your uncle.
yeah.
Happy days. And you know what? It's a glorious day for that to happen.
And it's one of those things where, like, obviously for me in that situation, all I had to really do was call my real estate agent. That's maybe a 2-minute task. Tops.
But again, the mental capacity to get into the state to do that.
And it's ironic because the mental energy you take up thinking about actually doing the task is far more
Significant.
significantly more strenuous than the task itself.
And not having any hot water in that tap and coming out a drop every minute
Yeah.
is even more frustrating.
Yeah.
And strenuous.
Yeah.
So,
Episode 48, white boys navigate their privilege.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Here we go. But yeah, other than that, not much happening.
How's your weekend?
Weekend was good. I was very well behaved this weekend. Lost our final game of the soccer season. I'm shocked.
What's the score?
I don't know. I had to leave early because I'd work on Saturday, like arvo/night.
You couldn't just be like, I'm coming in half a later, got the soccer.
No, because it was for like a catering gig I was doing for a 50th.
Was this the one you were talking about a while ago, or do you do these occasionally?
Occasionally, I just do them.
Did you do one a couple of weeks ago as well?
Probably,
Okay.
but I can't remember. But yeah, easy cash in hand. Couple, pretty decent pay.
What'd you get an hour?
$35 an hour, cash
good.
in hand. And the extent of it was just like cutting bread rolls and, picking up glasses.
Yep.
Say less. Easy money. And then I pretty much just worked all weekend, to be fair. I was very good. I going to Melbourne in a couple of weeks. So, saving up for that really.
That'll
and
be
I don't
good.
want to use too much of the tax return on that trip. I'd rather just save for it and not use it.
How long are you in Melbourne for?
3 nights.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Thursday, Friday?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
So should be great. Hopefully there's a couple of Melbourne home finals there. Be great to see a game at the G. Yeah, for the AFL, not the NRL. But also the NRL. But one thing I noticed, and I have been noticing, and this is to do with the party, which was a 50th. It was cowboy themed / country themed. So like a country band, and they kind of had hay bales. But, and we've also got a cowboy party coming up. But cowboy is a theme that everyone seems to get around very easily. Like everyone, when they put that hat on, everyone loves to put that cowboy hat on. Especially now that they're all like, you can get those coloured ones. Like, mate, people walk around and they're like, fucking oath. Like the way, like you can see people like, check this out. Because it's the only time I think people secretly would wear them all the time if it was more socially acceptable. But it's not. That you can't wear a bright pink cowboy hat just in the street because you're going to end up on brown cardigan or Creatures of Manly. But
imagine that becomes a thing 5 years from now. It's trend.
Well, I mean, the cowboy boots trend, weren't people wearing those recently?
Didn't last long.
Didn't last long. But I feel like if it was more
God.
socially acceptable to dress like a cowboy, it would happen more often.
Yeah. Okay. For sure.
Yeah.
I think, dude, I'd rock maybe, I don't know, A yellow one.
That's because you like the colour yellow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What would you go?
Just whatever's in the shop. Maybe blue, maybe pink.
You get
Who knows?
pink?
If there was green, I've not seen a green one. Actually, when me and Ryan were at Sash a couple months ago, we saw the level up on the cowboy hat, just not coloured with a bit of glitter on it. We saw one with a light rim around it. So it was just like a white hat or like maybe like a light colour of like blue or pink. But then it had an LED light strip on the top and around the sides, and it would like flash. And it looked pretty sick, if I might say.
That's
so.
sick.
Yeah, it looked very good. So
Do you reckon?
try to get your mitts on one of those.
Yeah. Was it like this one you were talking about with the lights on it?
Yeah.
Is this like a party hat spec, or was it?
Yeah,
like,
I don't. Yeah,
was it like a little felt number?
no party hat?
Okay.
It was a party hat because I feel like you wouldn't want it felt because people would just take it off you. People would take it off you anyway. But I mean, like, if it was felt, it'd be way more expensive.
That would be. Yeah, I'm into this.
I'm into it too.
I never thought about the theory of it being something perhaps more socially acceptable, but people just
Would do.
hiding away from it.
Yeah.
Do you think it's also like because people just generally speaking tend to get so around themes at parties anyway?
Well, it has to be a theme that is
It's achievable.
achievable and kind of is like the concept is like attractive to people. It's like cowboys, like you get to put the hat on, the boots, you get to accessorize a bit. It's easy,
and you can still kind of look
good,
cool.
and you can wear
Yeah.
other stuff and still, like you can still It's easy to partake in. One I would love to see is a tracksuit party where you have to wear. Everyone has to wear a white t-shirt, but then you have to have matching color tracksuit pants and sweat like jumper.
Is that just so you can wear your normal clothes?
Yeah, but I also reckon that would just look sick. Like, imagine everyone walking around. It's just like a sea of like tracksuit colors, and then like, whatever sneakers.
Everyone just looking hell chav.
Yeah, held chavvy, and like that's good because it's comfortable. You're still warm, and then if you get too warm, you can just take it off, take the jacket off. And not too expensive.
You know what people get so around as well?
What?
Is like the 80s theme parties.
Yeah, everyone loves that.
They fucking lap that up, dude.
Yeah.
Like, if someone's having an 80s theme party, put it in your calendar. Because you're not missing that thing.
Because, you got the denim, you got the mullets, you got the mustache.
Yeah. Which, again, like, kind of lends into the thing where it's like people would actually like to dress like that to an extent if it was more comfortable. Or more socially acceptable, rather. Because we do, like, that parts of 80s culture and fashion and stuff has or is still circling back and always will.
Exactly.
I was thinking about that yesterday. How like dumb, for lack of a better word, like fashion trends are.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, skinny jeans were cool like 8 years ago, but I would not be seen dead in a pair of skinny jeans.
Well, you wouldn't have been seen dead in them after 2013.
No, but is that just like is fashion kind of getting? I don't know what I'm trying to say, but basically, I'm kind of at a point where I'm like, I could still see myself wearing what I wear now in like 5-10 years.
Yeah. Well, I think the whole thing is you just wear what you like.
Okay.
Is the whole idea behind it. But like fashion trends, and I feel like fashion, like what's acceptable to wear, is like, they're just made up concepts. They're literally just like they're only concepts made by like people telling you to like go a certain way or like dress a certain way. Like they're not actually real. Like you can actually wear whatever you want if you don't care.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
But like, what have you got on right now?
Salomons.
You only got them because you wanted to look cool, didn't you? You wanted to fit in with everyone else, eh?
Well, that's the same reason you buy anything. You buy them because you want to look cool.
I didn't buy this sweater because it looked cool. I just bought it because I liked it. It was very comfortable. Same with these shoes and these jeans, mate.
Well, I guess that's,
But I also look like Ellen DeGeneres when I wear them. So there you go.
when you wear the jeans.
Just the whole fit.
I haven't thought about it, but I can't shake it now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, some people take more pride in how they look and how they dress than others.
And there's nothing wrong with looking like Ellen DeGeneres.
Absolutely
Multi-millionaire.
Wasn't she also a fucking
She got cancelled.
bit of a prick?
Apparently. All reports suggest maybe. But
Abusing like the fucking sound guy and stuff.
yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
If we
well,
had
look,
one, we'd probably abuse him.
I
so-
think probably. But look, I don't know what happened with Ellen. She kind of just she fell by the wayside a little bit.
she did.
Eh.
Anyway,
Oh, well.
how was my weekend?
Yeah, I was about to ask you, how was your weekend?
Mine was good, much the same as yours. Worked all weekend back in that bar
Spec.
in
In the zone.
the zone.
On the battleground. On the front lines.
It was good though. Friday morning, went in, had a coffee with a few of the day boys.
Yep.
As we are. That's what I'm pushing everyone to be called now, is the day boys.
The day boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we went and had lunch as well.
You sound like a Christian rock group. The day boys.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm on bass.
Yeah.
But yeah, went and had coffee. Then also went to Cooper's, had lunch, $12. Actually, previously $12.
Did you have a lunch beer?
I had a lunch beer. It was Friday.
Lock that in.
You can set your watch to that.
Yeah.
And then I went to work Friday at 6, knocked off at 10 because it was so quiet. So I did 6 till 10. As I knock off, I'm like, I called Dayla. I was like, what are you guys doing? Where are you? And he's like, oh, we were just going to come to the union. Is it closed yet? And I was like, no, I just finished. Come on up.
Was this on Saturday?
This is on Friday night.
Oh, Friday night.
So everyone just rolled into the union. I was already there.
Yeah.
Worked well. A few beers. Saturday night, one of the more, it reminded me of the more depressing side of working in a bar.
Yeah.
So I went to soccer, got absolutely pumped by the team coming 4th last.
Welcome to the club. Yeah.
Monkey off my back.
Oh,
Finally
you scored. You
It was-
and it was a good goal?
Yeah, as a pen.
Oh. Yeah, nice. Okay, still well done.
So monkey off the back.
Congrats.
Goal's a goal.
Congrats.
Lost 4-1. As I rolled home,
Yeah.
I'd say 7 to 10 of my closest friends drinking in my lounge room,
Yeah.
getting prepared for a night
For a night out. For a gig.
For a gig. Which I was really keen to go to.
So was I, to be fair. I would have loved to have been there. Mac the Knife.
Yep.
That's the name.
Name of the boys.
Yeah, remember that one.
Good friend of the show, Anthony,
De Lorenzo.
of bass player fame.
Yep. Great hair.
Great hair.
Has a great head of hair.
It's those Italian genes, mate,
Yeah.
I tell you what.
And one of the ultimate scarf wearers.
Yeah, he is. He's bringing it fucking
He
back.
pulls it off.
Well, he can.
He pulls it off.
Why can't he pull off?
That's fair.
You know what? I'll say that about Italian genes. They've just got hairlines that will not quit.
No, they won't.
If your mum's Italian
Or your dad.
or your dad,
One of the most stubborn hairlines to have ever graced the earth.
you will never, ever have to have an interaction with Ashley and Martin.
No.
I'll tell you that much.
No, not at all.
And you can do that guilt-free. You know?
However, Cody and I, it's in the back of our minds.
It could go either way.
It could honestly go either way.
Especially at 23, it's like I'm doing well at the moment.
We're on the cusp.
We're on the next 5 years is a real make or break sort of.
It's huge. Massive.
I wonder if working stupid hours and absolutely pounding beers every single weekend will have anything to do with, the progression or recession, rather, of my hairline.
I guess only time will tell.
Until then, I would not change my behaviour. Anyway, I got up and went to work. Everyone went off and had a good night.
You ready?
So that was kind of shit. But, that kind of affords you this time, Monday through Friday, where you just hang out all week, which is pretty fun.
Yes.
It almost feels like you don't work. We've probably discussed this already, every week for
1,000 times.
the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But it's good.
But it's good just to tell you, quit your full-time job. Work in a bar.
Work in a bar.
Or a cafe.
Not a cafe.
Yeah.
It's too hard.
Yeah, not all built for it. But yeah, so you had a good weekend.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah. Or something just quick, something I did during the week. Something different. I actually saw Cody midweek. A few friends went to the union, and then we went and saw a Beethoven at the Opera House. Bit classy. You might go, Xander, you don't really strike me as one who like classical music. Don't judge a book by its cover, okay? Great, big fan. Always a big fan of Beethoven.
Well, they haven't
He's
seen
been
you
dropping some nasty tunes since way back.
Yeah.
And it was good. Something different. Went to Opera Bar beforehand. Well, we went to the Union. Then we went to the Opera Bar, had a beer, went in. We dressed up a little bit. We were the youngest people there. Felt very classy, might I add. Yeah, it was good. What I will note, there was something funny So in the room, like the acoustics are so good, so you can hear kind of everything happening around you. Everything, like you can hear people like whispers and foot and whatnot. And the show had kind of started, and the music was building in intensity, you know, and I could hear over my right shoulder this lady struggling to open a bag of chips really quietly, because she was trying to do it so quietly to open the whole bag. Like it took her absolutely ages. And while she was doing it, you could just hear the music going dun 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 dun, and then you see the crinkle of the bag. And I was sitting there trying not to laugh because I couldn't hear. All I could hear now and focus on was this lady like opening a bag of chips, and it kind of made my night.
Well, the diegetic score, I believe, that accompanied said opening bag of chips would have made it one of the most dramatic bag openings of all time.
It was a dramatic bag opening. There was a fair bit going on.
It's like, you know,
you could tell. I didn't even have to look. I could tell that she was very focused on doing it, and it was hilarious on my night. It actually made my night. I was laughing.
That was the best part of it.
That was actually the best part of the night. I thought that was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, I also really wanted to go to that, but I couldn't.
Yeah, you didn't get invited anyway, so don't worry about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I had Ryan of
that's a barb. That's just through
that was a
your way.
drive-by.
Oh, that was just got absolutely unleashed on you. That was a dig.
Ryan of Pub Roaches fame came up to me the other day and he's like, mate, you and Xander have absolutely infected me with the tongue wag. And I was like, mate, once you start, you simply cannot stop. It is one of the most infectious behaviours one can pick up.
And the tongue wag, for those listening and not watching, is just you just say something to someone, could be serious or could be cheeky or like any natured comment to someone, and you just kind of just stick your tongue out to the side a little bit, but just long enough so they can see it, and then just boom straight back in. About a second is long enough.
Yeah.
It's a great move. It guarantees laughs.
It's also
90%, 90 to 95% of the time.
Yeah. It also is warranted in a situation where someone would, you know, take a dig at you and you've got absolutely nothing to say back.
You
so
got
just
nothing.
go.
You got nothing to say? Stick that tongue out. Just poke it out.
Yeah, dude, it's so infectious.
Yeah, it's just quality in my book anyway.
I this week, you know, I haven't actually written this down as a note. I didn't write my singular note down in the podcast notes this week.
That's okay.
But something that's sort of, you know, been plaguing my life the last few months is the side hug.
The side hug.
So, like, when you go to greet someone, you hug them with one arm from the side and you just kind of like pull them in. Almost like you're going to noogie them, but you don't noogie them.
Yeah.
You just kind of like, hey, how's it going? I, for one, am a big fan of it.
Yes.
I really like it, especially if you're at the pub, everyone's got drinks in their hands.
Yeah.
You just go up, hey, how you going? Little side hug. You know what I mean? Big fan. However, it's come to my attention lately. You know, I often do it with my female friends more than my male friends. You know, male friends usually met with a clap.
A
Dap up.
dap up, high five, fist bump, you know, the works.
I do dap up some of my girlfriends as well. But, you know, the side hug often is more afforded to them than it is to my male friends.
Yeah.
Alas. You know, I've been met with some constructive feedback that it's like when I'm side hugged, it feels like the other person hates me.
Oh.
They're like, when you do that, it's like, why don't you just give me the full hug? It feels like you hate me. Or you don't want to like hug me
but you
properly.
just look a little half on.
Yeah. But I didn't, like, from my perspective, it doesn't feel like that at all.
Don't take it
The
so
fact that
personally,
I'm
mate.
coming up to hug you is like, you know, that means that is my way of, you know.
Saying hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it were, you know, it's all about like, who are you initiating the side hug?
Yeah, I'm going up, hey, how you going? Side hug, bang.
Just like a little.
Yeah.
Right. I could see how people might think that actually.
Really?
Yeah, I could see that because it's kind of like a, you know, like if you're not shafting someone, but if you're like it's like a weak handshake. Like if I was just to give you a limp-handed handshake, you know,
But
that is what the side hug, the half hug is. It's just like a little, you know, like
Perhaps.
if you were gonna kind of not shaft someone, but if you were just kind of boom done,
Brush them to the side.
brush them to the side a bit. If you're gonna brush them, you just kind of give them one of the, you know what I mean?
But I feel like with my, the way I go about it, it's like you can feel that I'm like actually hugging you and I'm also excited to see you at the same time. You know what I mean? These things kind of all, the side hug is not, it's not in isolation,
Yeah.
There's other supporting
Factors.
here. Look, basically I'm reaching out. Where's everyone at on this?
I'm actually in favour of why people might not like it.
Also, I got told, I used to fist bump a lot of my friends,
Yeah.
girlfriends as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes a dap up doesn't feel totally appropriate.
No.
So I just go, yo, fist bump.
Yeah.
Same thing. Does this guy hate me? Apparently.
Jeez. But who knew? Who knew a greeting was so important?
It is.
Who knew saying hello to people was such a big thing?
Well, I think this has been plaguing man for many a century.
Many. For an eternity. Do you reckon some of the first cavemen and women went in for a hug, handshake debacle?
For sure.
Yeah.
And they probably got put on brown cardigan for it as well.
Probably. I saw a real awkward one the other day when I was working, and it was like handshake into fist bump, high five into handshake, and
Was it coordinated or was it just all
uncoordinated?
Yeah.
And there was like, it was like they were doing sign language, and honestly, it was disgustingly tough to watch.
Yeah.
Usually I would find that incredibly amusing, that kind of scenario. However, I did not on this occasion. It actually was tough. Like, I actually felt sad after watching it. It was not okay.
Did it ruin your day? Where were you at after that?
I don't know. I just kind of walked off, and I was just thinking about it for like the next 10 minutes, just going like, did I just see that? What was that ritual that I just saw?
Yeah.
Well,
again, and this kind of, not to, touch base with COVID again, but after football matches at times, people are throwing fists at me. I'm like, what am I going to do with that, mate? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a handshaker.
Yeah.
I'm a handshaker of note. I always have been.
Are you a handshaker, arm tapper?
Like, shake with the right, tap with the left.
Yeah.
Depending if I like the guy or not.
I love the arm tap. I'm the big arm tap guy.
I found I often find myself quite grumpy at the end of a game if we lose.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like,
Mate, don't be a sook, mate. Gotta be a good winner, gotta be a good loser.
I'm still shaking his hand. I'm just a bit grumpy that my team's lost. Sorry for caring.
It sounds like a bit of sooky lala from Cody here.
Yeah, maybe it is. I'm
Yeah.
a sook.
Yeah. Big sook, mate.
That's not new news.
To be fair, you keep bringing up a lot of criticism, people. Mate, it sounds like every week for the last month, you've been given another new criticism. Like, I've been noticing now, this is maybe the 4th week in a row. Are you just letting people dish out this criticism? Are you giving any of this back?
I don't know.
I reckon next person that critiques you, I reckon you should very politely critique them back and just be like, well, you know what? I think this is about you. You're a fucking...
You know what? You actually tell really bad stories.
Yeah.
So...
You know what? I actually don't like you.
You know what? I'm really friends with you because Andrew is. I couldn't care less about
I
you.
actually couldn't give a shit about you, mate.
Just try and get it as personal as possible.
Yeah, no. Well, if you can dish it out, you got to take it, eh? That's what they say.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. Okay, enough of that.
Side hug will leave in the past.
Side
The
hug.
side hug we'll put in the workshop.
Side hug. Marinate on side hug for a minute. However, conspiracy theory, episode 2. Disclaimer again. What am I disclaiming? We don't believe in any of this stuff. We think it's rubbish. However, it is entertaining to read because thinking that people believe this is frankly baffling. However, this one this week ties in a little bit to what we talked about last week with the lizard people. And the topic this week is Dark Fleet.
Okay. Disclaimer: I also know nothing about this for the people listening.
Well, this is a juicy one because it's got a couple elements. Again, a great story in the way that it's like it's a creative story the way that it's kind of constructed. However, like to be believed is like, come on.
Yeah.
It's just like this one sounds like a bit of like it's Sounds like a Marvel Star Trek crossover.
Okay.
Okay.
Hit me.
All right. Dark Fleet. This conspiracy discusses Nazi reptilian infiltration of the US government and their secret space program, as well as their slave colonies throughout the solar system conducted via Operation Paperclip. For those who don't know what Operation Paperclip is, it's actually a real thing where the US kind of smuggled, for lack of a better word, 1,600 Nazi scientists, engineers, and technicians away from Nazi Germany after World War II. So that's what that is. So that's kind of where it's molded in. And the establishing of, and through Operation Paperclip, the Nazi Reptilian Alliance was able to infiltrate the US, and their military, the CIA and NASA.
Okay.
Are you playing along?
Okay, I think so.
So
the Nazi Reptilian Alliance.
Yeah.
Can you unpack that for me?
So essentially, what they're saying is that Nazi Germany and a reptilian alien race touched base. Got in contact when there could be something good here for the both of us, and then decided they wanted to.
They used some of Germany's smartest people to infiltrate the US government.
Yeah, and to kind of put forward their own agenda for galactic and world dominance.
I'm with you.
Are you playing along?
I'm playing along.
Okay. So details of this conspiracy include revelations of anti-gravity propulsion technology, alien techniques of mass mind control, and hyper-dimensional teleportation capabilities that the Nazi Reptilian Alliance used in their newfound power. Power. So they kind of used all those things. I just skipped a full stop there. So they kind of, as part of this conspiracy, they can use all these technologies, they're available to them, that no one else in the world has or has seen. Just them.
Sure.
Just the Mighty Alliance there.
So the conspiracy essentially has, this story has afforded us a bunch of new technologies that we aren't aware of that exist. Apparently.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Yes. Yeah. Since World War II, so almost 100 years now. And this alliance used their newfound power, wealth, and influence to launch a secret space program with interstellar spaceports in Antarctica and on Mars, as well as operations on the moon. So pretty believable so far.
Does it say in what sense they're using these things, or no? Are you about to?
Well, here we go. So with these operations in place, there was a commencement of mining and manufacturing operations on Mars and is that Crates? I think that is Crates.
No idea.
No idea. I think it's Greek. It's
Ceres?
Anyway, CERES for anyone listening. And on these planets formed colonies there and elsewhere in the solar system, and also using human slaves to build them and to trade with throughout the galaxy.
So they're using humans to
as slaves and trading pieces.
I assume they're using these newfound technologies to keep these people alive, etc.
Yeah, exactly. Well, one can only assume. Okay, and so here we go. It is also reported various forces inside and outside government are trying to resist the Nazi and Reptilian Alliance as they strive for total dominance of the planet and solar system, with the US-led secret space program having its own fleet of spaceships, the Solar Warden Space Armada, which patrols the edges of the solar system and poses a growing threat to the Nazi Dark Fleet. Now, what is the Solar Warden Space Armada? Great question. So apparently this guy, Gary McKinnon, hacked into the US Space Command computers in 2005, learning the existence of non-terrestrial officers and fleet-to-fleet transfers, and a secret space program called Solar Warden. This bloke found out apparently the ships. There's apparently 8 of these ships that are cigar-shaped, and they're referred to as the motherships, and are about 2 football fields long, with 43 scout ships as part of the fleet as well.
The thought of that is pretty sick, to be fair.
Like, it's just like a movie. Like, it just reminds me of like Star Trek, Star Wars.
Yeah.
And then the kind of like Nazis going in after World War II is very like, in Marvel, how they have Hydra.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like a combination of like multiple non-fictions written into like one,
Yeah.
massive. And like a lot of this is based off like although it is a conspiracy theory, but there's also like people publish books with like full storylines like about this.
And the
Which
Dark
I
Fleet,
imagine would read like like a movie, like
for sure. The Dark Fleet was on that.
it was on that map as well.
Yeah.
On the Great Away.
It was.
So I'm picking things off that map.
Okay.
This one always intrigues me because I've always thought like, what is it? And I guess now you know.
So in short,
In short,
the Dark Fleet is the Nazis
yeah,
and the lizard people
correct.
infiltrating the US government
Yeah,
through their space program. And in turn,
and the CIA
and the CIA.
and NASA. Yeah,
Yep. And in turn, the US have
their own space
their
program
own space program
to stop their one
to stop their one, which includes 8 very large
ships.
ships.
So yeah, so I think just to kind of just to
Summarize.
explain it again. Yeah, so they're infiltrating while also operating their own galactic, mission.
Yeah.
And trying to stop the US, and then the US have their own space program.
Okay. Are the US aware of these guys at this stage?
Well, yeah, that's why they've got that. I think.
That is strictly.
That's to for the vigorous galactic battling going on.
I hope this turns into a movie. Is there a movie about this?
I don't know, mate. It's just such like a smattering of all different like non-fiction that is crazy. But yeah, that's your one for today. That was a lot to that one. So sorry if there was a couple stutters there to get through, but there was a lot of there was layers to that one.
Yeah, a lot of info to unpack there
to give you the full range of emotions.
Yeah.
There.
Do you have anything you want to talk about before we?
Yeah, actually, I would like to talk about. So this week, I also rewatched this documentary series that I've watched previous. Watching it again. It's called The Defiant Ones. I might have talked about it before on here. I'm not sure. I rewatched it, and I don't think when I watched it the first time, like I think it's one of those things that when you watch again, you realize that you actually missed quite a few like little things. And it's one of those. It's definitely a documentary series I would put on par with some of the top ones up there. Like I don't know if anyone's seen most people would have seen the Last Dance documentary.
Yep. I actually have even seen that.
You haven't?
I have.
Yeah. This Defiant one's not a sport-based one. It's a music-based one about Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine. However, I'd put it on par or close to that.
With The Last Dance?
Yeah.
Is it that good?
It's that good, I think.
Wow, I actually really want to watch
Like
it.
this-
I didn't even...
The way the story's like comprised and like put together and,
Is it linked with NWA and all there?
Yeah, so essentially like Jimmy Iovine, he was a bit older than Dr. Dre, but he comes from Brooklyn and he's an Italian American and he kind of
White dude.
wasn't that good at anything. And then he got into like record sound engineering, worked with like John Lennon, Tom Petty, like the list, honestly, like U2, like the list honestly goes on. And he made like a slow transformation into more of like a producer who is also like a businessman with his own record label, and wheeling and dealing. This bloke is one of the great wheelers and dealers if you watch it, within the music industry. And he, through his record label, that's how he comes into contact with Dr. Dre. And then on the other side, obviously, with Dr. Dre, they talk about his life growing up in Compton, the start of NWA and kind of the ending of that, the start of his solo career, and then like the rap beef between the East Coast and West Coast is kind of dissected in between. And then it also has like, it talks about that, and then that's kind of stops at like episode 2 or 3, and then they talk about after that too. So they talk about like what they've done to present day, which is one of the things that they did as a team is the creation of Beats.
Okay.
And the Beats headphones. And it kind of talks about the marketing behind the Beats headphones, which is also really sick. Like when they talk about it.
Yeah.
And there's the amount of like the amount of impact and like the legacy that you come to understand of these two having on musicians, like within their own genres they're comfortable with and others, is like absolutely insane. Like some of the like songs and albums and things that they've been present on is crazy to think about. Like it's like crazy, and I didn't realize that. I think the first time I watched it, and then when I watched it back, I was like, "Whoa, that's so interesting."
Yeah. You've totally sold me. Is it on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 4 episodes.
Oh, sick.
Yeah,
You often seem to have the most pulling power in convincing me to watch something.
that's what I do.
I don't watch shows that often. Do you know what I did watch the other day that I heard from multiple adults was really good?
Yeah,
Was Paddington 2.
was it good?
It was all right.
But like it's a kids movie.
I know, but I don't know what I was expecting. But I'd heard from friends, I'd heard the Hello Sport boys were talking about how good it was. And like,
Have you seen Paddington 1 though?
no.
Maybe that's why you didn't enjoy it, mate. You haven't seen the first one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they were like linked in that.
It's a sequel, mate. Of course they're linked.
Yeah, but I didn't have to watch the first one to be able to watch the second one. It still all made sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I just had, because I'd heard that it was so good, I'd placed high expectations.
Such high
I still enjoyed it. It was still good.
Wait, when did you watch that?
I just watched it the other night.
Just night off, mate. Chuck Paddington 2 on. A couple beers. Too easy.
I did watch it with Kate. In my
Yeah,
defense. I
okay.
didn't just watch it solo.
No judgment here, mate. No judgment here.
What do you reckon's the most like strange thing you've watched solo that you probably just...
Oh.
I watch Surf's Up like 4 times a year, but that's not that weird.
It's not weird, but every Halloween I watch Beetlejuice, which is a movie by Tim Burton. And it's got Alec Baldwin in it, and it's like one of Tim Burton's first big movies.
Oh yeah.
It's got Michael Keaton in it as well. And I've seen it 1,000 times, but I fucking love it. It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah?
So good.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. I don't even think it's a Halloween movie, but I just always watch it at Halloween. But it was always on like Channel Go when I was growing up. And then like, so every year I'd just watch it. And now that I can watch it whenever I want, I just still watch it whenever I want.
Did you have Foxtel growing up?
For a little while, yeah. Not a long time.
I'd say a Foxtel kid would turn his nose up at a movie on Channel Go.
Yeah.
Do you not reckon?
Channel, yeah.
Foxtel
they would.
kids...
Spoiled.
Dude, there's an element of arrogance that, you know...
That like, you don't, like I went from Freeview to Foxtel back to Freeview. And, you know, and I appreciated every moment of Foxtel. I memorized almost every channel code when I had it. Like I knew where everything was.
Yeah.
Like you could ask me.
How long did you have it, by the way?
Probably like 4 years, I reckon.
That's
5
a pretty
years.
good knock. Yeah.
And mate, I knew it all. Like the back of my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bloody unreal.
Like, yeah, I don't know. Is Foxtel almost becoming like a little bit irrelevant?
Well, you got Fetch TV and stuff now. I think there's just so many competitors in the area of like entertainment. Like, do you really need Foxtel if you have Netflix, Disney Plus?
KO.
You know what I mean?
Foxtel dominated the market for a
long
20
time.
years.
Yeah.
20 years probably.
Like, you know, and now the
15?
EPL belongs to Optus Sport. And so there's so much kind of competition
They just can't
that
compete.
they just don't have that kind of pool anymore.
I don't have the pool. But I tell you what, I don't know if I've talked about glue kids on the podcast before.
What's a glue kid?
Like, I don't know. I just feel like certain people have the energy that they ate glue as a child.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I like as in like they're just a bit like rare.
EJ,
Glue kid.
glue kid.
Yeah. Just and rare isn't a bad thing. It just
No.
means you're rare.
You just have a certain energy about you.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, that bloke is a bit rare. You know, like they just kind of they're doing their own thing.
They're doing their own. They're
Like they
operating
always
on their-
they always will. You know, they're on their own wavelength, in their own world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, bad day to be a glue stick.
Very bad day to be a glue stick. If you lick that glue stick a few too many times, mate, it's what happened. Fries your brain. Especially that blue glue, mate. It's no good. It's no good, mate.
Well,
That's the
have you-
strong stuff, brother. Don't get any of that, all right? Take it easy. Kid, take it easy. That thing
I
will,
told you about
that thing will kill you one day.
Back to the white glue, mate. Come on.
Back to the
Back to your
back to
roots.
the classics, mate.
Did you ever eat glue?
No,
Did you dabble? Did you try?
I don't know. Glue, like I've said before, everyone's got their vices, you know, myself and you included. But glue was never mine.
Do you have a memorable advice as like a 6-year-old?
No, not really. But no, glue's never really my thing. Heroin was my thing as a child. I was really into the heroin.
nice.
Not as much the glue though.
Just heroin?
You know, smatterings of other things, but
Right.
mostly heroin. That was my favorite thing.
In and out of rehab to what, 9, 10?
Yeah, then just went cold turkey, mate. Got myself off.
Back on the straight and narrow, mate.
Back in the straight and narrow.
Where were we?
Sorry, we've totally just fucking gone on a tangent there.
Oh, that's what I was saying. Anyway, people like Foxtel kids.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
There's a certain higher than thou energy of someone who's had Foxtel IQ 2 for their whole life. But mine,
They would simply spit at you at the thought of, mentioning 7, mate.
yeah, or 10 peach. You know, they don't even look that way. I tell you what though, 9 go every Thursday, pretty much any night of the week at about 8 o'clock. Had always had a great movie on.
Yeah,
Always had a good movie.
it did.
And it would range. It would be action. It would be same with 7 Mate. 7 Mate was the competitor, 9 go. And it would be some trashy, second-rate, third-rate American sitcom. Then it would hit 8 o'clock and it would go movie time.
Bang.
And it
Toy
would
Story
always-
2.
It'd be like Toy Story, The Hangover,
Harry
Ricky
Potter.
Bobby Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
You know, something different all the time. James Bond always on 7 Mate. They did the James Bond Saturday nights and they did them back to back on weeks. Or they'd do Friday night, Saturday night,
Yep.
James Bonds.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that, and it's funny we're discussing this. Last night at work, the AFL was on 7 Mate in the afternoon,
Yeah.
and the channel didn't get changed after the AFL finished. So we went, I can't remember who the Swans played.
Collingwood.
Swans Collingwood
Yeah. 45,000 people.
into the Prisoner of Azkaban
Oh,
while I'm
less,
there.
dude.
Look, TV's up there. I'm still slinging beers.
Say
Unreal.
less. Well, you know what? The Block is back.
Oh,
So,
your favourite time of the year?
and it's in the country this year.
Mm.
So, that'll be getting a run.
Wait, so what, rural Australia?
Yeah.
What do you mean by country?
Well, it's in just a rural town. They're
Like-
building on a property. They're
Country
making-
like Port Macquarie or country like Windsor?
I'll have to reconfirm.
Windsor
but
country?
I'll have to. I don't even know where that is. What do you mean Windsor?
That's suburb.
All right, let's not get into the geography of areas. I'll find out and I'll come back next week.
Well,
'Cause
I'm
you are
sure-
frankly embarrassed. You've
I'm-
just embarrassed yourself.
Well,
You've
just
just
time.
You've just embarrassed yourself. You know that?
Oh, that sounds like you're on the back foot because you don't know where Windsor is.
No, I know where Windsor is. It's up to you to know.
No,
where, no,
I do.
dude, I know where it is. It's up to you to know where it is. If anyone that is listening, not watching, you just saw a prime example of a tongue wag.
We'll just know that the block will be very heavily covered over the next month or two.
Yeah, now it's back on. I'll be watching. I'll be there for it. And I'm your block correspondent. Here first at the Barflies podcast. Okay. Flick over the page.
Nice.
The back page. You hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're here. Fair bit to cover, as always.
Can you? All right, let's just get straight into it.
Yeah.
Kalen Ponga today. What's happened? Talk me through it because I actually don't really know.
Look, he's been caught in a cubicle with a friend, not actually accused of anything, just told to leave the cubicle. However, question marks over what's happened in said cubicle. Has a bit of the devil's dandruff been passed around or not? Look, that's all speculative, mate. Maybe they're just comfortable peeing with each other. Maybe like Ponga's dad would say, he was feeling a bit ill, mate. He was just holding his hair. He's not been accused of anything. There's nothing confirming that anything's gone down.
Well,
No harm, no foul, in my opinion.
As they say, one of the the great adages is round 21 is the bottom fours off season.
Yeah.
So
Well, the Bali flights are booked already for September. They're not staying around.
they have clocked off mentally.
Especially when you've got an injury and you're definitely not playing.
Yeah, and when you reside in the Hunter, as a man of rugby league athlete fame, the Hunter notoriously a pretty strong area for rugby league, but not so at the current present time.
No.
I don't know where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Totally lost my chain of thought. What I'm trying to say is they're in the bottom four. They've clocked off. They'll be back pre-season training when everyone else actually starts their off-season.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Melbourne and Penrith, they're putting their feet up in the middle of December. And, the Tigers and the Knights have been doing burpees and push-ups
They're going to be hard at work.
in the 36-degree heat.
They've been hard at work. Look,
So,
let them play.
what I'm trying to say is let the boys play.
Let the boys play. And, people go like, oh, that's shocking that
That is
they've
such a
done that.
bad look.
That's such a bad look. It's like, mate, not the first time, not the last time it's ever going to happen. I don't, if that video didn't come out, I know they're role models, but, role models, musicians who are role models, get rip and tear into it all the time.
Well, that's the cruel irony of the rugby league media is, they're the ones who will share this video of Kalen Ponga, and then with that they'll go, what a bad role model. But it's like, the only reason
share
everyone's seeing it is because you're fucking sharing it.
I know.
And it's like, also, no 11-year-old kid is going to see Kalen Ponga getting in trouble and go,
In a pub cubicle. Yeah.
they're not going to know. They're none the wiser.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There was one time that really annoyed me was it was just after they won 5-0 in the Ashes in 2013-14. The Australian cricket team, fresh off that smashing, they absolutely trampled the Palms. At Coogee Bay Pav, Gaz and Sean Marsh standing in the smokers area having a ciggy, photographed, and then there's articles going, oh, it's not a good look. Oh, they're role models. It's like, mate, they're at a pub in a smoking area after a long summer and literally completing their job.
Yeah.
I think
To the absolute best of
that
their
they
ability.
could. I think they're allowed. Now, just let me check. I think they're allowed to munch at least one durry in peace. Come on.
Oh, he's a national hero? No, you know what?
No.
Cigarettes.
No cigarettes for you, man. Yeah. Look, and mate, smoking is bad for you and the works, but they're adults. They're still people. They're allowed to do it. Yeah, sometimes yes, you shouldn't take drugs, etc. But at the end of the day, thousands of people around Australia probably do it every weekend.
Yes.
So
Yeah, exactly right. What we're trying to say is, who cares?
who cares?
Who cares? If he's still playing good footy, I don't care. I
Is what it is,
really
mate.
don't care.
And also, there's no proof to say that he did it. It's just him coming out of the cubicle.
Yeah.
Where's the proof? Where's the proof? Show me the proof.
Was this covered by the barflies? Because it sounds like speculation to me.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's all riddles, mate. It's all riddles.
And Cam Munster just quietly, off the back of one of the more well-covered off-season incidents, has subsequently turned into the best player in the world. So
he has been playing electric footy at the moment.
how good is he?
He's been playing.
I don't think we talk about him enough. He, for me, is just by far the best instinctive rugby league player in the game at the moment. Like
He's a game breaker. He's him and Latrell have that massive game breaking quality like that, or like even like a Turbo has as well. But I mean, Munster probably gets his hands on the footy a lot more and kind of has a good instinct of like when he needs to get his hands on the ball.
Yeah.
You know,
Put him at fullback. Put him at 6.
Playing pretty unreal.
What do you think? What's your opinion on the Munster, the 5'8" fullback?
I don't mind
at the
it.
moment. And
I don't mind it. Well, if he's playing, I feel like it doesn't matter as long as they're winning.
What do you think? What would you be doing going into the finals? Because I think Jerome Hughes is still a couple of weeks off.
He's another week out, I think.
Okay. So do you go Meany at fullback, Munster and Hughes?
Yeah.
Or do you go Munster at fullback, Johns and Hughes?
No, I think you've got to be playing Nick Meany at fullback. I think especially having Nofaluma and Coates back, I think Nick Meany is like the quality option at fullback. Because Nick Meany, no offense to Cooper Johns, but like Nick Meany's, more impactful and more experienced player at the moment than Cooper Johns.
Yep.
So keeping Nick Meany at fullback and then moving Munster at 6, which is his position, I think is the best move. I think they should have done that before and not played Tyrone Wishart there and the likes. But again, I feel like Munster, wherever you would put him on the field, he would do a job. But Melbourne's starting to click back into gear again. They got last week. They had the understrength Panthers, who just didn't seem to have much bite and attack. I feel like anytime they gave the ball to Jamin Salmon, just nothing doing at all. Like I just don't.
What position does he play?
Well, I don't like. They're trying to re-sign him. There's all this and they played him a lot this year. But I thought Kurt Falls was way better than him. Kurt Falls in that one game he played was way better.
Oh, is he playing 6?
He's playing 6 at the moment. I'm just watching him play and I'm just going, like, what are you doing? Like, what is like the, what is the element that you're adding to this attack? Because like Sean Sullivan offers something, but I just feel like they're a halves partnership. He needs to also. I just feel like he doesn't offer enough. Okay, and I would play Kurt Falls in the next couple of games.
I don't have not even heard that name before.
He played one game in the middle of the year.
Okay,
during the bye round.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, with Sean O'Sullivan. But yeah, I feel like once Panthers get those players back, they'll be right back into their work.
Yeah,
I feel like, Cowboys losing on the weekend. They've got the Warriors coming up. I feel like they're a certainty to win the minor premiership, but regardless, they'll still get a home final. So I still wouldn't like to verse them come finals time.
Who, Penrith or
Penrith.
Cowboys? Penrith.
Cowboys were due for a loss, but the Roosters are trotting along with the Rabbits as well.
Yeah.
Notice how this chat of Adam Reynolds not being at the Rabbits has completely died down since Latrell's come back. And also Lachlan Ilias has been playing a lot better. He's really growing into the game. And you can see that he's playing with a lot more kind of confidence and vigour.
He didn't play on the weekend, did he?
He didn't. He was injured. But
who played 7?
Someone else. Hawk something. I can't remember. But Ilias, every time I've been watching a Rabbitohs game, he's been playing better and better. And I feel like with Latrell there, like having Latrell as an option brings out the best in Cody Walker, or the better in Cody Walker.
For sure.
Just not being this focal point of the attack, because otherwise he's too easy just to shut down.
Yeah,
but having someone else there and having Cam Murray back as well for consecutive games adds a lot to the team.
Killing it.
Adds a lot to the team.
Killing it, Cam Murray is.
What else happened this round? Titans won. I was so happy to see the Titans
I know they beat Manly. How funny is that?
Yeah. Go the Titans, dude. I was happy to see them get up, I kind of like their team. I want to see them do well. I like a lot of the players. I like that they're a young team. No Tino as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy to see, because I've watched quite a few of their games this year, and I've been watching going like, this team should be doing, they should be doing better, a lot better than where they are. that it's them in last or second last, not really a reflection of their seat, of who they are as a team.
Yeah.
So it's good to see them trump Manly.
Mm.
Both Fermor played well again.
Fermusi.
The Fermusi played great again. You know what surprised me? The Titans re-signed him, but Bo Fermor strikes me as a perfect option for Melbourne Storm. I was surprised that he wasn't signed by the Storm.
Was there any interest or talk?
Well, I don't know if there was, but to me, Bo Fermor just strikes me as a player that would go well under that system.
Agreed. Just because he's an interesting player, Bo Fermor. We've both always kind of, you in particular, but no, I think we spoke about it when we were at Narrabeen and how good Bo Fermor was.
He runs hard, he tackles. He's just an efficient player.
Yeah.
And he plays 80 minutes every week in a losing team and still is efficient.
Well, he's a great wheeler and dealer in a losing side.
Absolutely. And a prospect for Queen. He was in the Queensland reserves for this Origin series. And he was talked about a lot. So I feel like it won't be long till you see a player like him come off the bench for Queensland. Like, don't be surprised if you see him next year or the year after, really. Because I can definitely see that happening.
He's got a very, just tidy
game.
Tidy game. Almost like Mitch Orbison, but just a bit more go.
He's a bit bigger than Mitchell Orbison as well.
More, yeah, but you know what I mean? In the sense that he's very reliable, very tidy.
Well, he was a centre, and now he's moved to the second
back
row.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I really like him, and I just thought Storm were looking for a back rower. I was just surprised that he wasn't an option, but the Titans did re-sign him for another 3 years, I think.
Yeah,
to 2025.
Interesting. He must be buying into whatever they're doing up there.
Totally.
And in saying that, Manly.
Well, I really think the whole Pride jersey scandal has just absolutely rocked that team. Because since then, they have not been the same.
When you make your bed, you got to lie in it.
That's right. And wow. They have not been the same since.
No.
No. Because they were actually playing decent footy before that.
You could almost even say they were playing above their weight.
You could. And then that happened and,
I don't know. Manly's interesting to me because although they've got some fucking unreal players scattered across the park, they got Jake, Olakau'atu, DCE, obviously the premier 7 of the game, one of. Their team to me still just feels light.
Yeah.
It just feels like, again, this is just, I don't know. There's still, what I'm trying to say is they still just feel like they're punching above their weight to me.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm trying to say this in a positive way. Like their team just feels light for how well they're doing. You know what I mean? It feels like they're sort of they're Manly are very obviously invested more so in their upper end players than their
there's a lot of young players covering the gaps.
There's not as much middle ground in Manly as there are in other teams,
Yeah, definitely. And if those players don't play well or don't play, they kind of those games become increasingly harder. The big games become harder to win for them.
For sure.
Yeah, I think that's pretty sound. The one thing I've noticed a lot about Manly this year, and I've said it before, say it again, the pick and stick is something I've not seen Des do much. More in the context of the forward pack and the bench. I don't think I've looked at a team sheet for Manly this year and it's not been unchanged by, a couple players.
Mm-hmm.
And like that, they've had 1 or 2 injuries and maybe some Origin, just Jakey with Origin, and obviously the Pride saga. But I feel like you can't build something on changing that lineup every single week. I feel like with Canberra and Ricky Stewart, he picked it, and they just started playing more consistently straight away. He was a bit guilty of doing the tossing of players, but he just picked his team. No, this is what we're doing. We're going to do it every week, and then they've played much better footy since.
Well, Melbourne, Penrith, and the Roosters are the 3 teams that come to mind where you could pretty much name their team sheet every week before it comes out.
Definitely.
The Tigers, different team every week.
Sharks, you can pretty much name that every all those top teams. You would, you can name that whole team sheet straight away. Sometimes the Sharks change up they're 14 and they're forward options on the bench, but that's one player. They changed one player.
Yeah.
And that's not a starting player.
Yeah.
You know?
Also, obviously, a lot of what Manly does, a lot of what Manly do evolves around Tommy because he obviously is the best player in the world on his day.
Yeah.
And without him, they're a different side. But I don't know, Manly's season, they pretty much bow out now effectively. I think mathematically they're a chance, but they have to win by like 200 points.
And they need everyone else to lose. Yeah, they're done.
Manly are done. Unfortunately, after the weekend's games, it also looks like the Red V
are out.
officially bow out after losing to Canberra.
Mate, we got what we deserve this year. We did a bit of shuffling ourselves, not picking and sticking. We got what we deserved. We took L's. You know, and again, this is the third year in a row it's happened. The Dragons have had a player sin bin almost every second game for like a high shot. It happens it didn't happen against Canberra, but it happens pretty much every other time. So I reckon that's cost us a couple of games throughout the year.
Any thoughts on the penalty over the week or the last play of the game?
Look,
by the by,
comes around, goes around. Yeah. I just think like we made some good signings this year. We made some good progress, but not playing Sloan was just for me like is a massive thing. And at this point, it's like, well, you're getting us like Anthony Griffin's getting the Dragons there, but like, you know, what is this roster at? Like, who's can't like, if we lose,
what's the plan?
like, what's the plan? Like, we've got some great young players that everyone's talking about, but you're not playing them.
I'd love to see what the plan with Sloan is because he is a throbber of note.
And like, you know, as much as it's good to play like a bit of gritty footy and stay in games, like when they set up at the very start of the year with a very attacking spine and structure, it was like, as a fan, like, yeah, I like seeing them stay in the game, but it doesn't look like even though we stay in the game, like we still lose. It's like I would rather watch us actually have a go and play some attacking footy, throw the ball around with a good combo of youth and experience. You know, and that doesn't mean you still can't be gritty. Like, look at the Cowboys. They throw the ball around better than any team, but they're still gritty in defense. So, you know, I would love to see a bit of that come into the team because we've got the players to do it. Like, Amon scored a hat-trick on the weekend.
Was he good?
Yeah, he was good. We got
like in general.
Yeah, he is good.
Yeah, he's good.
We got Lomax and Sully, who are two great
Freaks.
centers. We got Sloan. We got, you know, Cody Ramsey's been resurgent this year. So, like, you know, it feels like we've got the chips, but nothing's happening. So we've got Ben Hunt. Something just isn't clicking.
Is it your lack of a top quality hooker? With the greatest respect to Andrew McCulloch.
Yeah,
what are your thoughts about that's the glaringly obvious thing for me with the Dragons.
I think if the Dragons picked up like a genuine hooker,
Cam McInnes type player.
I think we would be looking like a much better team. And also, we're like picking like non-ball playing forwards at lock. We've got DeBellin.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I feel like he's the most obvious choice, but it doesn't play him there. Look, I don't know what they think, like what the go is, but it just seems like they're not getting it just right.
It's hard as a fan when like you obviously can't see what the coach sees, and like from the outside, it just looks fucking stupid. But it's like Anthony Griffin knows more about rugby league than I do,
Ever will. So yeah, I don't know. It'd just be lovely to be a fly on the wall. I guess that's kind of, you know, the blessing and curse of being a fan. But speaking of cursed fans. Just a segue quickly into the EPL.
Oh, yeah.
With United right now. Wow. Shockingly poor start.
Who'd they lose to in game week 1?
So game 1, they were 2-0 to. They were losing 2-0 to Brighton at halftime, and then it was 2-1 at full time. So they lost, and then they were losing 4-0 to Brentford at halftime.
At halftime, they were 4-0 down.
Yeah. So look, like, I don't know what is going on. Just seems like manager after manager, like the same issues. Like, team so desperately needs to get a CDM, like a proper centre mid, like a genuine, not Fred. Not Fred, not Van Beek, like proper established centre mid, someone who can command the game. Pogba was supposed to be that guy, but it turned out, Matic did it for a little bit, but like Pogba can do the passing, run it, but he doesn't have the defensive element to him. Like, we need someone who's like defensively sound just to run the middle there.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't even hate to see Martinez, or like, even I wouldn't even mind them experimenting and throwing Lindelof in at CDM at the moment. Just something different, because it's not working. McTominay's not developed or been developing at the rate you might want him to. Fred's shocking. So, yeah.
You'd think a club like Man United could attract a world-class CDM. No, is
You'd
Declan
think
Rice not still at fucking
West Ham?
West Ham? How is he still there?
Mate, he would be...
They've been talking about this guy for years.
I know. They need to grab him. Spend whatever. Get yourself an actual... Because all the best...
He's English as well.
Yeah, all the best teams, all the teams that are going to be in top 4 in contention this year, they got... Think about Liverpool. Fabinho and they got Henderson. 2 class centre midfielders. Chelsea have Kante, Jorginho...
Kovacic.
Yeah, and then they've... Yeah, like quality there. City have Rodri... Gundogan, like, and then they've also got De Bruyne at centre mid, but he kind of does his own thing. But like, they've got like quality in the middle, like real quality. Even I would go and say even Leicester have a better midfield than us. They got Ndidia, they got Tielemans. Arsenal have Thomas Partey, like proper players. We don't have, like, we need someone to stand up and be that guy, and no one's doing it. So they got to bring someone in as well. I don't know what they need to do with Maguire, whether they start him, bench him, I don't know. But like, he's not worked. They need to take their loss there. I reckon, like, take an L on Maguire. We've got Varane. We've like...
Why was he not playing?
I don't know. Like,
is he not? Yeah, I forgot he was there.
I feel like you've literally got a World Cup winning centre back there and Champions League winning centre back, and then you've got Slabhead. Like, who are you starting? And
is he fit?
I'd assume, like, he's on the bench. He came on off the bench. Like, I feel like, how can you not be fit and be a professional footballer? Like,
I thought he was like... I just meant fit as in like injury free.
No, he's not injured. And I don't know where Lindelof is. He must be injured as well. But, like, I feel like Maguire's not... And, like, it shouldn't be captain either. Like...
He's a clown.
Like, he's probably a great bloke, but I just... Like, it's not working. Like, nothing's working. Like, even Ten Hag said at halftime, I would have taken the whole team off if I could.
Yeah.
So... Look, I don't know what's going on, but City won again. Liverpool are playing tonight. And then Chelsea and Tottenham drew 2-2 overnight, with Conte and Tuchel getting red cards at full time for a little scuffle they started. That's just good footy, though. That's just stuff. Entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
They're just providing an element of atmosphere.
Well, they do that for the people.
Yeah. And, yeah, go for it, boys.
Rip and tear.
Rip and tear. Get into it. I loved it. I watched it. I was like, that's a London derby, mate. That's what it's all about, And Conte's coached Chelsea previous. He's in it.
Mate, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
A 2-2 as well.
Yeah. Massive.
Koulibaly, his first goal.
Yeah. Koulibaly, first goal.
What happened to Rudiger, by the way?
He was at Real Madrid.
He's gone?
Free transfer to Real Madrid.
I have not been keeping tabs on the Prem in the off season, as you can see.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Like at Barca, they've been talking about players not being able to be registered because of the financial fair play regulations. However, like De Jong is coming as like a main source of pain for Barca because they've just agreed to pay this like insane contract to him, like tens of millions of dollars per year. That is like huge for compared to anything else, and he's going like, well, I'm not going to leave unless you pay me out this contract. Like, why would I leave this club if I'm making this much money? Like, where would I go? And I can still win trophies here.
Yeah, and he's probably happy there.
Yeah, and they're kind of like, well, we need you to kind of take a pay cut so that we can sign and like bring in these players to the actual team.
And he's like, well, that's a you problem.
And there's even other players. I think there's one player, Braithwaite.
Yeah, Braithwaite,
who, is even on. He's not registered, I think.
Right.
And I think even Umtiti not
really?
registered.
Yeah, right.
For Barca, potentially. So
Interesting.
pretty huge.
I need to keep better tabs on world football.
Yeah, there you go.
It's back.
It's back. World Cup in November as well. Same time as Rugby League World Cup. So it'll be football and footy. You beauty, mate.
How good's that?
And the cricket. Or Cricket World Cup. Oh, stop that right now. Cricket World Cup into Rugby League World Cup into Soccer World Cup.
Into the World Cup.
Oh, yes, please.
Fuck, we won't have much to talk about.
Nah, that'll be shit time for the back page.
Oh, it'll just be a whole lot.
Oh, and you know what? That means there's 3 World Cup specials coming up for you as well.
Yeah.
So
We should probably do an end of year review with Jack.
yeah,
After
and Nathan.
Yeah.
Or
4 people.
Or let them battle it out for one spot.
To be decided.
Send in your resumes, boys.
Yeah, send them in.
Yeah, that's all we've got for you. Music this week. I picked the song. It was actually from this Defiant Ones TV show. I thought it was a groovy little track, personally. A little groovy little number.
Oh, yeah?
Little fucking groovy little tune, mate. Fucking little hustle and bustle.
I'm going to check those hips.
Yeah, baby. JJ Fad, Blame It on the Music.
Musick.
That's right. That's the song this week.
Did you want to tell them what you told me about the song?
Oh, it was produced by, it's like one of the first albums as part of like the record label group that Dr. Dre and the members of MWA started. One of their first albums they produced, it was like this all-female rap group, and this is one of their songs.
Sick.
So have a look, check it out, have a listen, enjoy. But until then, that's episode 46, 48. I'm sorry.
48.
48. I'm Alexander.
My name's Cody.
Have a great week.
Goodbye.